Hi guys, this is Vita with Life Her Way, and we are back with another video. Now, what are we talking about today? Today we're going to talk about 10 ways that I feel that women who live alone, these are 10 things that we need to do in order to stay safe. All right guys, let's get into it. I have my handy dandy iPad so that I can stay on track of what we're discussing. Now, here we go. 10 things. Number one, you need to install some type of home security program, device. It can look like an alarm, it can look like sensors, it can look like cameras, but you need to put in some type of a system that will help you feel safe, right? So that's number one. All right guys, tip number two. Tip number two has to do with ensuring that you are securing your doors and your windows. Now, I know this is the season where we like to keep our windows open because like right now, it's so beautiful out here. Who would not want to be in their home with doors open and the wind just blowing in? Because as you can see, I am in my happy place and I enjoy having my windows open this time of the year. Number three is we need to make sure that we are utilizing some form of motion activated lights around our home. It could be in the front of your home, back of your home, or both. It can be all around your home, but you need to ensure that there are some form of lights that are surrounding the perimeter of your home, not just to catch or deter suspicious activity, but sometimes there are actual, let's just call them creatures of the night. Raccoons, there are so many animals that are, I should say around where I live. There's so many animals that are out at night that it is beneficial that I have some type of light system around my home so that when I come home at night, it's activated, by a sensor, or like I said, it's activated, by solar. I couldn't think of it. So solar lights or sensor lights, right? So that is tip number three. Number four is simply get to know your neighbors. Now, this is as simple as, say hello, introduce yourselves, all the way to, do we need a neighborhood watch? Right? I have a good rapport with my neighbors, and I'm very fortunate, and I am appreciative of the fact that I can call upon my neighbors at any time to get assistance. Number five is keeping your emergency contacts handy. Now remember guys, we talked about this in a previous video, how important it is to keep those emergency contacts available and handy in your home, just in case something happens to you. If someone enters your home, they can see it quickly. Number six, we have to be mindful of social media, guys. I consider myself a digital content creator, but even with that, I am very mindful of what I say and how much I say on social media. We know that a lot of times people may not like what you're doing, but we know they're watching. So if they're watching and they're paying attention in that area, what we want to make sure that we're not doing is putting ourselves in danger of strangers targeting us. So be mindful of what you say and how much you share on social media. Number seven is invest in some form of self-defense. And we talked about that in another video of what women need to do in order to be safe. When we invest in some form of self-defense class, it allows us not necessarily to hurt another person, but it allows us not to be hurt. You're able to be able to get out of a difficult situation. So again, I'm not going to tell you what you need to do, but what I will say is you need to have surrounding you what makes you feel safest. Number eight, okay guys, be cautious with visitors. So a quick story. Just the other day, my neighbor called me and said, hey, I just want to let you know that there's some guy riding around in a van saying that he's with the electric company, wanting to talk to you about your electric company provider. And I said to her, thank you so much, because to me, that is what a good neighbor does. A good neighbor will tell other neighbors like, hey, something is off with this guy. She kept saying like he seems a little sketchy. So be cautious with visitors. That is number 8. Number 9, create a safety plan. Now, what does that look like? That simply looks like What happens if there's a tornado? What happens if there is a big storm and something like a tree falls on your house? What type of safety plan do you have if somebody breaks in your house? Do you have anything that is near you where you can use to protect yourself? You need to have a safety plan. If your safety plan, if it's a tornado, okay, if I'm living, where am I going to go afterwards for someone to find me? So I need someone to know, like, okay, Vita said that if there's ever a tornado and she lives through it, you can find her at the church, the local church, said church, whatever church name. If there is something that ever happens to my house, and like say one of these big old trees falls on my house, and if I'm not in there, what is my safety plan? And not only should you know it, you should share it with others, just in case people cannot find you. And number 10, guys, number 10 is simply trust your instinct. I cannot stress this enough. If it doesn't feel right, go left. If it doesn't feel right, go left. If you know in your gut that something is off, trust it and move. I have the spirit of discernment, and I know I do, and I use it to my advantage. These are those 10 things that I would suggest women who live alone should do in order to stay safe. Now, this is Vita with Life Her Way. I want to thank you all once again for joining me on this journey of loving me more. All right, guys, until the next video. Bye, y'all.